I'm Libby Doggett. I now work in Washington. I'm the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Policy and Early Learning. So I head up all the early learning for the President and Secretary Arnie Duncan at the U.S. Department of Education. I was pleased to be on the Austin Child Guidance Board for 9 years. I took an unfinished term and then 2 terms in a very busy part of my time of my life. I was put on the board in 1973 and I remained on the board until 1982. Well, the building was on 6th Street, and of course that was when 6th Street was still a busy street, but not quite as busy as it is now. And it was a small, kind of cramped building, and the boardroom was very small. It was very difficult to find parking for the board meetings. It was a really difficult time for the agency. We went through, I think, 3 board searches, and I was on a couple of the search committees. So we spent a lot of time, a lot of extra time, interviewing people, recruiting people from around the country, and it really taught me how important good leadership is for an agency such as this. And that's why I think ACGC is thriving right now, is because we have strong leadership, and of course Don Sapone, the former leader, was such a strong asset for the organization. Really made a difference not only for ACGC but for our community as well. I did really love ACGC and felt like what I learned has carried me throughout my life. During that time, my major contribution was I helped write the personnel policies. There were no personnel policies, and I had a little bit of time, so a couple of board members and I got together with the staff and wrote the personnel policies, and I think they still actually have helped provide really good personnel policies even to this day. The board was incredible. I felt like the junior board member because I was much younger and knew most of the people, but because they were just community leaders. But Louise Isco, who now lives up by me in Washington, D.C., was on the board, and of course my mentor and a woman who I owe my career to, Phyllis Richards, was on the board. So it was great fun to come to board meetings and see people that I knew out in the community, would see out in the community, and to actually work on a project such as this. Well, there are no other services like this. There are no other services of this quality, and I think ACGC has been so smart about staying current with what is needed and what for the times. What we did back in the day when I got on was very different than what's being done now, but I think it shows how the organization is able to really look at the needs in the community and meet those needs rather than staying stagnant. So the lives that they have built, the families that they have made stronger and put back together, it's just an incredible contribution to Austin. Well, I love to see this beautiful facility. I understand that it may be getting too small, even though it looks very big compared to where I spend many of my board meetings. But I hope that the organization will continue to stay strong, continue to attract wonderful board members, and continue to stay current with what the needs of Austin are as they change and grow.